So I wanted to talk about some geometry based around the cube, a hypercube mainly, and how it relates to certain buildings, created religious temples, man-made structures like Dome of the Rock, yeah, stuff like that. It seems like here we have a hypercube. When I'm looking at this, I'm thinking like most things relate to like somewhere in the natural world. I'm looking directly at the Earth and planets specifically. Like when you look at Saturn, that polar storm that's constantly there, in some looking like some vortex situation. Yeah, I believe that the planet's core is now can be seen externally around it, some remnants. But yeah, she's popped like a volcano. And when I talk about like planets, energetic fields, geometry relating to these energetic fields, yeah, I'm pretty sure that just about every planet would have some sort of energetic structure to it as well. We know all the ancient temples seem to be on these coordinates, lined up. They call them dragon lines. UFOs get busted traveling along very specific pathways sometimes. I know that certain non-physical entities or interdimensional whatever do like to travel along these energetic pathways as well. Gives them more power. Certain things are organized in the physical world to end up along those pathways. Gives them more power on the astral plane and to affect people in the material world, or even possess them. Where they can't reach people on these energetic lines, they seem to pop out of lakes a lot. Not necessarily hiding in them, but using them as mirrors. Yeah, as a dreamer myself, I do use mirrors to travel in and out of. But yeah, things like the Dome of the Rock, the giant cube in Mecca. There's a relationship there, like even this that I found the cube found within the geometry hidden in this artifact. It's like seems to like the physical world seems to be telling me to that it is basically based on this. Also, I wanted to talk about the limitations of these non-physical entities, ancient AI, archons, whatever you want to call them, and why, as the head controlling the body, they're human servants or our leaders or lead, why they only seem to operate at certain times. Like, this isn't just for fun, or because that's the style they like. There are limitations to these entities. It's probably bound to the earth, but on another dimensional level. But when looking at Saturn, I think that these things from that particular older planet, I don't know if it ever had life on it like ours, but maybe it was just fucking like Cybertron or something, but it's like I think they have released themselves, like, through maybe destruction of the core or something, and they could be trying to eventually do it to this planet to release some sort of forces here, and that could be why they're at war with the planet. And thank God they stopped fracking, but you never know what they're trying to do, like their end game. Like, if you can look at the past, like, these things are released, they're at work, they work on cycles, repetitive cycles, they act extremely intensely in short periods. But I want to put emphasis on the limitations. The limitations of their timing. All these things seem to be based on rules. It's like, even though they've reprogrammed and bound themselves in curses, I've mentioned this from the Gnostic texts, it's still based on programming and rules. And their movements seem to be restricted and predictable, just like they can set us up, predict us. Like, it's just the same. Like, they are highly predictable as well, and once you know their game and how it's played, like, you don't have to be susceptible to it. But it's very interesting, like even the cube, like, you'll see in various tombs, I think even Tutankhamun's tomb, these giant cubes. It's not irrelevant. Gnostic texts, these things trapped in Tartarus, they've been released now. I think there's certain energetic releases in the earth where they do become released, and we know about inner earth and these realms. They're not always physical, so just keep your eye on that and consider the geometry of the planet. Like, I'm sure this connects even energetically throughout our solar system, and probably further into the galaxy and universe even. I think I might be able to apply the electric universe to these systems that manifest, bind things together, and manifest into this sort of geometry around the earth. But the cube as a cage for these things, and they could be trying to further release themselves completely from the planet. I mean, they've been released already, but yeah, they are most probably bound to the planet still. But I think there's others that aren't, most probably from Saturn. And you have the cube at Mecca too, where they all revolve around it. A black cube, Saturn worship, very ancient kind of stuff. So there is a Saturn influence on our planet, and I guess Archontic would be, I know it just means ruler or leader or whatever, but that's, people say they made us. No. Like, these things, there's like beginnings and endings. Yeah, be careful with that kind of stuff. Who made who made you? Which reminds me of a pretty cool AC/DC song. Anyway, I think I've said most of the preliminary kind of stuff I wanted to say on the subject. I'm looking at Metatron's cube probably soon, expanding on that. So this is more of an introduction into the cube, and I'm going to go more into the mirror of these things, probably further into the Ark of the Covenant. So there's some food for thought, and getting pretty hungry myself, so see you later, alligator.